What's going on, buddy?
Nigga done brought a
Man, we answered the question.
team out here.
Obviously, he doesn't live here.
The reason why I asked you to live here is a private community, so if you don't live here, you need to leave. So if you live here, you're visiting a friend, that's fine, just let us know, because you're getting neighbors' concerns since you're walking around my house. I'm not walking around your house. Hold on, Steve. You've been past my house 4 times, I don't know you, I've never seen you here before, and you're walking past my house over and over again. So if you live here or you have a friend you're visiting here, that's fine.
I'm not in front of your house.
You're actually following me.
You went up the wrong way. We just asking a question. You live out here?
I'm a part of the neighborhood.
You're part of the neighborhood? Does that mean you live here? It's simple.
Like, bro, what?
I'm asking a question. You live here? Shut up to my wife.
Bro, I didn't go up to your wife, bro. I don't know who you talking about. For real. And I think I can walk around my neighborhood.
If you live here, yeah. So you live here.
Like,
You live here?
you gonna keep asking me the same question over and over and over and over and over. This man following me. This is harassment, right?
You haven't answered yet.
That's harassment, right? That's harassment, right?
I think what you did to my wife, yes.
Look. He followed.
What you did to my wife,
You
yes.
read it up.
Well, I guess to put it simply, we don't. There's a lot of stereotypes out there. And there are some white people that do have hate. And it's usually because of a stereotype that they think all people are the same and they dislike that. But the theory that all white people are that way is also a stereotype. So we got to be careful about stereotypes, and we got to be careful about what we listen to and what we believe, because a lot of it's not true. Take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be talking about a young black man just walking the streets, minding his business, and suddenly confronted by a white neighbor. And the white neighbor confronted him in an aggressive manner, demanding answers that were never his to ask. Now I want to know what gives someone the right to turn a peaceful street into a battlefield simply because of color of someone's skin. Let's look at this video and dive into it. I want to say credit belongs to the rightful owners of the clips I'll be attaching on this video. And I want to say, if it's your first time coming to my channel, please kindly subscribe, share, like, and do not forget to turn on your notification bell so that you keep getting updates from me. This video also is for educational purposes and not to lash on anyone. Corrections I stand to get from you. Drop comments in my comment section. I'll be right back.
Take a look at this video.
What's going on, buddy?
Nigga done brought a
Man, we answered the question.
team out here. That's fine, just let us know, because you're getting neighbors' concerns since you're walking around my house.
I'm not walking around your house.
Hold on, Steve. You've been past my house 4 times, I don't know you, I've never seen you here before, and you're walking past my house over and over again. So if you live here or you have a friend you're visiting here, that's fine.
I'm not in front of your house.
You're actually following me.
Some of us see this and we go, same old story. But other people see this and they think, well, why didn't the young man just tell him where he lived? And to those people, this is what I have to say. I have 2 major concerns with that. Why would I tell a stranger where I live? That makes no sense. Just in a regular situation. I'm not trying to tell anybody where I stay. I don't know you. I don't know what you're going to do. Why would I do that? Furthermore, take a look at this part.
Buddy, look out, buddy. He's still creeping.
Steve. No, Steve.
Hey.
Now, if this man was crazy enough to crash out in the middle of the day where we see grandmas, children with their parents.
Wait for people, they trying to walk with their kids. These people out here following me and this ain't weird. This ain't, look at the neighborhood creepers.
Broad daylight. If this man is willing to stop his car in the middle of the road, if he is willing to crash out and pull out the blicky in broad daylight and end this man's life just because he is not listening to him, why would he tell him where he lives? This man is literally, the man, Stephen Correga, is literally saying, because you have not decided to give me the authority I think I deserve, I'm going to steal your life from you. I'm going to take it. No matter what you've accomplished, no matter what dreams you have, no matter who loves you, I'm going to take it and I'm going to snuff it because you're not listening to me. Do you understand the arrogance of this man? Do you understand how insane that is? And listen, he's not by himself. This is not a one-off situation. This is normal for some people. There are some people who will see this video and go, well, he should have just complied. Complied to who? He's not even a police officer. And he's not doing anything wrong. But even if he was, you are not in authority. You are a civilian, bro. Just like homie is a civilian that's walking down the street. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, why would he even mess with this man? And man, they had a homie pulled up on the bike. You had the homie on the side. Dude stopped his car, opened the car door, left his car and parked where it was running, just to go ask this dude where he was from. Like, do y'all understand what kind of time they was on? Like, if this was a different time, homie wouldn't have left it out alive. You know, I'm glad that homie was able to keep, you know what I'm saying, his wits about him, but it wasn't no laughing matter, bro. He could have, that could have really ended very terribly for that man. What's even worse is,
We're just asking a question. You live out here?
I'm a part of the neighborhood.
You're part of the neighborhood. Does that mean you live here? It's simple.
Like, bro, what?
That's my question. You live here? You're up to my wife.
Bro, I didn't go up to your wife, man. I don't know who you talking about.
and the white guy's response was, well, you walked up on my wife. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even fit the narrative or the story. It doesn't fit the story. He's lying. This has happened to so many people over time. Somebody lies on them because they know that it'll get everybody riled up. This is what happened to Emmett Till. Didn't we figure out at the end of the lady who lied on him at the end of her life that she lied on Emmett Till? They murdered that man. They mutilated his body. They mutilated his body. If not for his mother who wanted everybody to see, we would never know to what degree his body was mutilated because somebody lied on him. And that's what they're doing here. They're lying on him, but he wasn't even having it. Shout out to him. He wasn't even, man, whatever, yo, get out my face. That's how he kind of was. And I don't even blame him. You know, it's interesting. It's like, what would cause these men to stop everything they're doing and harass this guy who's just walking down the street? And I think I finally realized it. It's fear. It's fear, right? There's nothing worse than a black guy just living his life sometimes for some people. And here's the thing. The biggest reason for their racism is fear and guilt. It's fear and it's guilt. And that fear is unwarranted, and it's not based on history. It's based on a fabrication. Now, I will agree that on a smaller scale, right, on an individual scale, you will find black on white crime, but you'll find just as much white on black and any other ethnicity and minority. You can, cross it and switch it up. It'll be there. But on a large scale, historically speaking, to fear black people because they will be violent, it's unfounded and it's not real. You cannot go into history and find a large group of black people doing anything to another group of people that results in death, and consistently. More than 3 times in American history, you're just not going to find it. That's just, it's not in our nature. If anything, our biggest problem is each other, right? Black, us with each other, but that's our problem to deal with. Nobody else. That's our problem to deal with in our community with our leaders. That's something that we got to handle within. But we do not bother other people on a violent, large-scale level. We simply do not. In fact, let's look at what history says about what white people have done to black people on a large scale. Now, mind you, one of the greatest arguments that the average white person makes when it comes to things of the past, like Jim Crow or slavery, is that they did not own any slaves. But I am here to tell you that they participated in much of the racism that went to black people, and they were very violent with it. This wasn't something that was small or just passive aggressive. This was very adamant. First, let's look here at this map. When we speak of violence, the amount of lynchings that happened on this land toward black people is insane. And the craziest part about it is that it's just not taught. Unless you're looking for it, you'll never find it. Because what they used to do to black people, when there was a lynching, it would be a town party. I highly suggest looking at, I will link the creator's name in the description. He has a video where he's a white man, he went and he studied the history of lynchings in America. And when I say it is astoundingly wicked and demonic, I mean that it is astoundingly wicked and demonic. It was like a party. They would dress in their Sunday's best and they would go watch a black man be hanged, right? It didn't have to be a troublesome man. It didn't have to be a violent man. It just had to be a black man that was being hanged. And so please understand that if you look at all these dots on this screen, this is real. This really happened. This is real life. This is not the government. This is towns and cities and people groups. And this happened. This really happened. This was groups of men who lived in areas saying, we're going to go get so-and-so because that Negro did this and this. He looked at us wrong, or he didn't say something, or he's getting too high and he's too uppity. If anybody on a large scale had to fear anybody else, why would it be blacks again? Let's continue on. Let's go a little bit further. Let's look at this next map. These are black massacres that have happened in America. And you will see, if you look at this, that it goes all the way up to 1985. Once again, I don't know how people don't know this, but some white people will look you in your eye and say that there is nothing happening and nothing happened and we should fear you. You shouldn't fear us. We all know about the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre that happened over a lie, right? We know about Seneca Village in New York, right? We know about Rosewood because of the movie, but there's so many more. There's Clinton, Vicksburg, Slocum, Colfax, Thibault, Springfield, Chicago, East St. Louis. Look, a lot of these are in the 1900s. We got Detroit, we got New York. Then if we flip and we go to this next one, this is just during the Red Summer. During the Red Summer of 1919, there were so many race riots, right? And the reason why they're called race riots is to mask that it was a bunch of white people killing black people. If you want to do some research, go research any of these, especially in this first one that I sent you. Just go research Tulsa, Oklahoma, and look at what happened. Just read. It's so bad that just 1 or 2 years ago, some of the survivors of the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre were trying to get paid a reparation for what happened to them, a real one. They were affected. They were there. Their families and their community was destroyed and killed. Children were killed. Elderly people were killed, and a few kids survived, and they were alive trying to get a reparation, and they were denied it by the U.S. government and the court system. And the reason why Tulsa, Oklahoma happened over this lie was because Tulsa, Black Wall Street. If you've never heard of Black Wall Street, it was a time and a place where a bunch of really rich black people lived, and they were killed. They were killed out of fear and jealousy. Please tell me again where I can find this list of the opposite, where you can't even look at the Black Panthers and say nothing. You can't even do that. I can't believe that the U.S. teaches the Black Panthers the way that it does. As if they were some criminals going around just shooting white people. Putting them on par with the KKK? Is that real? Is that true? Is that what we're doing? These men in this neighborhood were afraid of that black man. But it was unfounded. It was unfounded. Not only did he not personally do anything to him, but our people haven't personally did anything to that man either. And if the tides are starting to change as we're starting to see them, where people are doing things to black people and actual consequences are happening, know that it's from God. It's from the Most High. Because there's a lot, people will pay for their sins. Sins will be corrected. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. So if you can't do what you want to black people anymore, and then you call that anti or reverse racism, and you do not acknowledge all of the racism before, you don't even have the understanding, knowledge, wisdom, or even the gall, right, to go and study the history as it is, and yet you want to speak speak on black people, or be afraid of them and therefore antagonize them. You got something coming to you, and it ain't gonna be from no man either. It's not gonna be from no man. It's gonna come from above, bro. It's gonna come from above. And so I'm happy homie got out. I'm happy that there were some other white people who were standing on business and saying, hey, this is the dude, Stephen Correga. This is his name. This is what he do. I'm glad that's starting to happen. I'm glad things are starting to shift and things are starting to change. With that being said, if you find yourself in one of these communities, if you find yourself living in one of these communities, it might be time for you to just take a step back and go, hey, am I safe here? We don't see videos of a bunch of affluent black people or middle-class black people saying, hey, man, what are you doing here? You look dangerous. For no reason. We don't see that. You could talk about the gangs of Chicago and the gangs in the major cities. It's a different story. They do not represent the majority of black people. In fact, most of the violent things that you find are from a very, very small percentage of black people. Most black people, even those who live in the hood, are quite normal, just trying to make it. You wouldn't know that because you don't know black people. You haven't lived around them. And it's very convenient for all of us to be thugs and dangerous and violent. But history would say different. And I believe the Most High would say different. That's my thoughts.
This kind of situation where a white man attempts to bully or even peep you at a young black male walking down the street in their neighborhood raises urgent concerns around racism, implicit bias, vigilantism, and systematic injustice in the society. Here's a breakdown of what is likely at play. The first thing is racial profiling and implicit bias. Many such incidents stems from deep-seated racial stereotypes that associate blackness, especially young black men, with criminality or dangers. A black teen simply walking through a neighborhood may be perceived as suspicious by someone with racial bias, even if they are doing nothing wrong. Absolutely. This is a form of implicit bias, unconscious associations that influence perception in behavior. Another thing is vigilantism and entitlement. In this scenario, individuals sometimes take some sense of authority as though it's their right to confront, question someone, or even use force on someone. They believe that person doesn't belong to their own cadre. This mindset is often busted by privilege, and they believe that they are protecting the neighborhood, even when there is a high level of threat. White citizens policing black presence, especially in spaces where they see as theirs. Another thing is historical context. This behavior mirrors high-profile places or high-profile people, I beg your pardon, like Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery, and some other persons that I may not be able to mention here, where black men were attacked or simply killed because they exist in public spaces. And this isn't nice at all. These incidents touchlights a long continuity of racial violence and policing the blacks as though they are not humans. Now, if you look at the fear of power and the use of pew, escalating to the use of pew, I mean, that's what I mean. It reflects how quickly racialism, it reflects how quickly racialized fear can turn deadly. Now, the presence of a pew dramatically raises the stakes, turning prejudice into potential fatal violence. The fact that some people feel justified in pulling something without actually or without an actual threat shows how this can affect rationality. Now, if you look at legal accountability, in many cases, the justice system has failed to hold white aggressors accountable, especially when the victims are black. This undermines trust and seems very, very dangerous. It sends a negative message to the black guys and shows that they are less valued and more expendable. Well, in my conclusion, this kind of thing is not just a personal dispute. It reflects structural issues, racism, unequal justice, and segregation. So addressing it requires a more multifaceted approach, a better education on implicit bias, stricter laws against hate crimes, and in policing alongside PP laws, and above all, the conclusion: humanity, dignity, and every individual needs to have this regardless their color, their race, because we are all humans. Let me get your comments in the comment section regarding this. And if it's your first time to come into my channel, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and also drop your comments in the comment section, with also turning on your notification bell so that you can get more updates from me. With that being said, peace and love.